Puerto Rican Voices is brought to you by the Center for Puerto Rican Studies, with the generous support of the New York City Council and Hunter College of the City University of New York.
Welcome to Puerto Rican Voices. My name is Edwin Melendez. I am the director of the Center for Puerto Rican Studies at Hunter College, CUNY. Today, we're talking about the aftermath of Hurricane Maria and its effects on Orlando and Central Florida. Today, Florida has the highest Puerto Rican population of all states. At Puerto Rican Voices, we have interviewed students, teachers, lawyers, and others that relocated to Florida. To talk more about this topic, we have with us Joanna Lopez. Joanna was elected to represent District 2 on the Orange County School Board in 2018. She was the first Hispanic teacher in the history of the Florida District to be honored as the Orange County Public School Teacher of the Year. Joanna was a champion of students and parents that relocated to Orange County. Thank you, Joanna, for being with us today, and welcome to Puerto Rican Voices.
Hola, Edwin, gracias por la invitación. Estoy muy honrada de estar en este momento compartiendo con ustedes y contigo todas las inquietudes aquí en el centro de la Florida.
What can you tell us about Latino and Puerto Rican students in Central Florida?
Mira, primeramente es importante recalcar que aquí en el centro de la Florida, específicamente en el condado de Orange, tenemos más de 43% latinos, así que tenemos 43% latinos. Eso es un número sobresaliente. Soy la primera miembro de la Junta Escolar representando el distrito número 2. También es importante recalcar que nuestro distrito es el cuarto más grande del estado y el noveno más grande de la nación.
Joanna, what can you tell us about the current situation of students from Puerto Rico that moved to Orlando and Orange County after Hurricane Maria?
Actualmente tenemos aproximadamente 1,200 estudiantes que vinieron de Puerto Rico tras el huracán María. Tenemos un poco más de 100 estudiantes que están calificados como deambulantes, homeless. Estos estudiantes están codificados, así que el personal de las escuelas puede identificar si ese estudiante está pasando por esta situación y así se le da una atención pues más minuciosa y un seguimiento mejor a través del personal de las escuelas, aunque esta información es privada, pero el principal, los consejeros van a saber esta información y es más fácil para ayudarlos y guiarlos en este procedimiento.
At Puerto Rican Voices, we have interviewed members of the Puerto Rican Legal Bar Association of Orlando. Let's watch this clip and we can discuss it afterwards.
Legal Services Clinic of the Puerto Rican Bar Association is how we started because it was a concept born while I was president of the Puerto Rican Bar Association and a concept that we brought to the board. And it became as a result of the crisis in Puerto Rico. I thought of what if we could do something about taking the students out of Puerto Rico law schools and into the mainland law schools. So I started making some phone calls, and before you know it, it was incredible how much support the deans were willing to give. One of the deans from the University of Puerto Rico had been stateside, and through him was able to establish, and eventually we got about 32 students or so out of Puerto Rico into the mainland, and they had no pay tuition. They didn't have to pay any tuition fees, and some of them we were able to get them the housing for free, and some of them we paid the transportation. So it was a tremendous success. We call that the STAR program, the Student Temporary Assistance Relocation Program. So I started getting calls from lawyers. They're saying, "Oh, can you help me?" I said, "Well, wait, this was for students, not for lawyers." But I understood, the trauma. And then I ran across Rules 11, 12, and 13 of the Florida Supreme Court rules that says that if you're a certified legal services provider to the poor, you can hire lawyers from out of state to work under your umbrella. Boom! All we had to do is get ourselves certified, and I can hire these lawyers from Puerto Rico and at least get them an opportunity to get some work. Even if they can't get paid, at least they're working and they're exercising la profesión until they get admitted to the Florida bar. So that's what we did. We made the movement and we got ourselves certified. We got a grant from the Miami Foundation. We got a grant from the American Academy of Trial Lawyers. We got a grant from the Hispanic Federation. And then we got a grant from the state of Florida. Before you know, we've raised all this money. We opened our offices in Miami and in Orlando. We hire staff, and we have a full functioning law firm that is both in Miami and in Orlando, employing lawyers and getting job done for people who need assistance that are poor. So it's a fantastic story of self-help.
Hi, I am Marie Masson, and I'm the current president of the Puerto Rican Bar Association of Florida. We welcome everyone. You don't have to be born in Puerto Rico or have Puerto Rican descent, but if you're interested in the issues that affect the Puerto Rican community, you're welcome to join. The main focus and the purpose, mission of our organization is to improve the professionalism within the legal profession, to encourage more Puerto Ricans or people of Puerto Rican descent to join the legal profession, also to support Puerto Rican candidates that are running for office, judicial office, so that we can support them and make sure that their qualifications are the best, and that the community also is aware of the Puerto Rican judges out there running for office and can support them when it comes time for elections. We have also a community-focused mission in which we try to support any issues or any causes that enhance equality, justice, and service. When the Puerto Rican community faces difficulties, we are the #1 nonprofit and non-politically affiliated organization that's there to give them a voice. And for example, after Hurricane Maria in 2017, we were faced with many requests from the community at large, people who fled the island, and from people from the legal community in Puerto Rico. And so we were there standing next to many other community organizations, providing the first thing that everybody was asking for, or the most natural response, which was to get non-perishables, ship them, gather them here at the community level, and ship them to the island. We were able to mobilize and contact about 35 ABA-approved law schools in the continental U.S. so that those students were rescued, basically, and brought to the mainland. And we were able to successfully place 31 of those students at 6 different law schools in the U.S. We continue to be sort of a funnel for those people to direct them to the legal clinic. And that's an ongoing effort and an ongoing objective of ours, to continue to provide the community with that service, direct them to the people who can help them. And we hope to do that for as long as the legal clinic continues to expand.
My name is Victor Rojas. I'm from Puerto Rico. I'm a lawyer in Puerto Rico. Here I'm working as a paralegal for the Legal Services Clinic. I was working as a defense lawyer, criminal defense lawyer over there on my own. After the hurricane, well, we know how Hurricane Maria hit the island, so we had no electricity, we had no water. There was a lot of problems. The court systems even shut down. So after pondering, after basically losing everything, to the hurricane, almost immediately after the hurricane, we decided to, take the jump and find our fortune.
Coming up next at Puerto Rican Voices.
The first story that I heard from my grandmother's lips, Berta Martina, has been my golden key in opening doors for me everywhere.
It is just a fundamentally unique experience to read about characters that you can identify with.
Yo soy un gato, pero yo también soy tigre.
Every child deserves to be able to see his family, his community, himself, herself validated. At the same time, they all need windows. They need to know about other worlds.
If you just read what she published, you would only have a fraction of a very skewed view of what she was writing. But thank goodness we have her archives here.
Welcome back to Puerto Rican Voices.
Certainly, these lawyers are doing an outstanding job in helping the Puerto Rican community in Orlando. Joanna, what was your experience when Puerto Ricans first arrived to Orlando and Orange County after Hurricane Maria?
En esta época que ocurrió el huracán María, hubo una movilización masiva de puertorriqueños aquí al centro de la Florida y automáticamente bajaban del avión. En el mismo aeropuerto habían un sinnúmero de mesas donde se ofrecían servicios gubernamentales. Servicios, por ejemplo, para renovar la licencia, inclusive habían mesas de aquí del Orange County Public Schools, donde también dábamos orientación no tan solo de cómo matricular a los niños en las escuelas, sino también de cómo conseguir empleos en distintas áreas de las escuelas del condado de Orange. Habían distintas mesas, ¿no? En términos generales, habían, yo te diría, ahora mismo que estuve allí también con la unión de maestros también, alrededor de más de 100 mesas, había muchos servicios.
Joanna, at Puerto Rican Voices, we have interviewed students from Colonial High School in Orlando. Let's watch this clip and we can discuss it afterwards.
All in all, we received about 250 students that were displaced from Hurricane Maria. So we, right now, hover between being about 3,500 to about 3,600 students. So we had that influx of students occur in waves. So all in all, I would say that the first wave that arrived after the hurricane, we probably had about 20 students that came from Hurricane Maria. And then we started seeing that number increase pretty much throughout the months of November and December. Most of them were coming from public schools, but also we had some from private schools. So one of the things that we really focused on when the students were arriving to Colonial was really trying to gain an understanding of essentially their academic background. What were some of the classes that they were currently taking prior to the storm? What were some of their goals? What were some of their aspirations? And also what type of extracurricular activities they were participating in, because one of the things that we really wanted to do for them was essentially just acclimate them to the culture here at Colonial and making sure that they were actually immersed in some of those activities so you could have continuity.
El sistema educativo para mí personalmente fue un reto muy interesante porque pues tuve que pasar de una educación en la que siempre estaba tomando apuntes en una libreta y leyendo libros a tener que usar una computadora para pues encargarme de todos mis trabajos, de todos mis estudios, y pues fue un cambio bastante fuerte, pero no es algo que uno no pueda superar. Tuve la bendición, la suerte de caer en una zona en donde había mucha población y representación latina. Caí en muchas clases en las que las personas pues sabían del desastre y sabían de lo que habían pasado y pues trataron de ayudar y ayudaron bastante. También en primer año aquí, que fui a Colonial High School, fue que me encontré con una de las mejores maestras que yo personalmente creo que he tenido, que se llama Joana López. Ella me ayudó mucho como persona para desarrollarme y poder desempeñarme aquí en mis estudios y en otras áreas también.
I graduated from Colonial High School, and like 1 week before the classes end in April 27, I applied to the Macento program scholarship, and I got it. It was a $1,000 scholarship, so I graduated with with the Mackenton Bento Program Scholarship, and I started at Valencia College.
The SAFE coordinator, basically crisis intervention, anything that has to do with the emotional side of situations. My life in this high school is an adventure. I love it because I come to my job and I don't know what I will face in the day. It was a challenge because no one expects something like this to happen, like nature will hit, an island this way. So it was a surprise for all of us that we will get this wave coming in. So I always say that we work as a team. That was the key for the interventions at that time. We have specific roles and we needed to maximize our potential and our knowledge to serve well these families who were coming to the registration office and they were just crying. And you can't rush it. You can't tell them, okay, do you have the paperwork? Do you have the grades? Do you have the transcript? No, you just have to pause and see and look at their body language, see what their needs are at that time. We learn how to pay attention to other details that are not written in a book or written in a step. You have to look at the person and see, do they need a hug? Do they need that word of reassurance? We are Boricuas. We are resilient, and that's what keeps us moving forward. And every time I saw a family coming through these doors, I knew that they were looking for a better future.
Coming up next at Puerto Rican Voices.
The fact that we have a Center for Puerto Rican Studies is something that you can't get anywhere else.
I'd say it's probably the most important research resource for anyone learning about the diaspora.
People who are passionate about our history and culture can go and learn more about who we are.
Centro pinpoints and expresses what Puerto Ricans are all about, what their history is all about, their culture.
As a journalist, it's very useful because it provides well-researched statistics of our communities throughout the United States.
And the journal is unique in that it is the only journal that publishes research articles on the Puerto Rican experience.
You can find old records, you can find old photographs, you can even find old puppets from the Pura Verpre archives.
It holds our history and protects it. And without Centro, without the archives, without the library, all these materials would be in jeopardy.
Welcome back to Puerto Rican Voices.
Joanna, you work closely with many of the students. Can you talk to us about the process of enrolling them in school during the aftermath of Hurricane Maria?
En el sentido de las conexiones o la comunicación que existía entre las escuelas del condado de Orange y las escuelas de Puerto Rico, pues muchas veces se dificultaba porque no había una comunicación productiva, porque las escuelas de Puerto Rico estaban cerradas, no había luz, los niños no tenían copias de sus transcripciones. Entonces lo que se decidió hacer era que se iba a creer lo que dijera ese padre que iba a registrar ese niño o ese familiar que iba a registrar ese niño. Si ese niño decía que estaban 10, nosotros lo apuntábamos, lo matriculábamos como que estaban 10, le preguntábamos las clases que tenían y nosotros, creyendo en su palabra, hacíamos esa matrícula en lo que se resolvía el problema de la comunicación. Así que realmente lo hicimos por palabra en los comienzos y se hizo tenía esa flexibilidad.
What other services were provided to these students?
También se proveyó un servicio donde el estudiante podía graduarse obteniendo un diploma de Puerto Rico con las clases que ya tenía, que si no se graduaba aquí, pues podía tener también ese diploma de Puerto Rico, que era fuera de las escuelas del condado de Orange, pero era en relación con el gobierno puertorriqueño. Así que esa opción también la tenían. Así que hubo un sinnúmero de flexibilidad, ¿no?, en términos de lo que se hacía para ayudar a estos estudiantes.
Joanna, in Puerto Rican Voices, we have also interviewed members of the University of Central Florida Puerto Rican Student Association. Let's watch this clip and we can discuss it afterwards.
I'm the Executive Director of the National Puerto Rican Student Coalition. We started the Puerto Rican Student Association in the UCF about a year, almost 2 years now. It was from fall 2017 to spring 2018, where I served as president. And when all the hurricane and everything happened, we started doing some efforts here at UCF, helping the students. So it was a matter of how can we communicate, connect with other Puerto Ricans in other universities, and see how we can transform their communities as well. And so in the past, there was no connection between Puerto Rican students and different universities. And this coalition was built in those terms. How are we going to construct what we call is like a chamber of commerce, where you kind of have businesses you bring together, they connect, they exchange information, they know each other, they can partner and work together. And so what we did is we actually established communications with FIU, which is the Public University of Miami, USF in Tampa, FSU Tallahassee, UF Gainesville. And so we started building that capacity here in the state of Florida and kind of bringing that message of the in-state tuition, how we could lead those efforts in their universities. But that has been mostly the model in Florida. So what we're doing now is going more state by state and kind of identifying what are those key issues for students in general, that they want to work together in terms of what they want to achieve.
The association was funded 2 years ago by Jose Luis Rivera. I remember the day he wrote to me because we knew each other back from the island. He said, "Camelia, I'm interested in funding the Puerto Rican Student Association. I know you're already there. Will you be able to help me?" And I was, of course. I was really excited. I got to UCF without knowing anybody, hardly any Puerto Ricans, so that was very exciting for me. So we have our monthly meetings where we get together, we talk about what's going on. We most of the times have guest speakers to encourage our students in leadership to keep striving and helping them in whatever we can do. We hold fundraisers, socials are most popular, and we basically help students to get involved at the university. With the help of our directors, Dr. Rivera and Dr. Cindy Muñiz, we were able to host a welcome dinner for the displaced students of Hurricane Maria here at UCF. And the association worked hard to plan that and get that all together.
We created the Puerto Rico Research Hub this last summer, and it was sort of an evolution of the growing sector of the Puerto Rican population that was growing for a while. And for a while, there's been research suggesting that Florida continues to be that magnet for Puerto Ricans, not only from Puerto Rico, but also from the Northeast and other places in the continental United States. So it was a process of, talking to administrators, opening hearts and minds, and I think after Hurricane Maria, that changed. We got sort of that reality check that Puerto Rico and Florida somehow are very interconnected. What the university did, we established sort of an 800 number that people could call in. And we had dedicated advisors that just basically went through the different curriculums. And so did you took intro to sociology or you took intro to biology? So they were admitted on a temporary basis based on what they told the advisor.
It's definitely very rewarding seeing the outcomes of the students who have come after Hurricane Maria. We hear their struggles and see how they have developed and overcome, and a lot have leadership positions. They have gotten involved in other organizations.
Coming up next at Puerto Rican Voices.
I'm a Rican, defining my own way, anyway.
Tato is one of the most important New Rican poets, but he's also a major poet.
He truly captured the essence of so many people who walk the streets of New York that no one sees, and no one listens to, and no one knows.
Give us your tired, you're beaten, you're triste.
Tato has written his legacy with the poetry in his life.
Welcome back to Puerto Rican Voices.
Certainly, these leaders have found a way to empower Puerto Rican students. Joanna, what was your experience in terms of language as a barrier?
Bueno, el problema idiomático, de barreras idiomáticas, también se va a ver, es más visible en ciertas áreas más que en otras, ¿no? Porque hay escuelas donde la mayoría son latinos y te sientes bien cómodo porque tal vez no tienes ni que utilizar el inglés para poderte comunicar diariamente con personas de la escuela, mientras que tal vez hay otras escuelas donde la mayor parte de la población pues no es bilingüe, entonces pues hay un poco más de dificultad. Yo te puedo hablar desde la experiencia, desde la perspectiva de Colonial High School. No vi esas barreras idiomáticas, no las vi. El estudiante se sentía muy cómodo. Las clases de inglés como segundo idioma tienen distintos niveles, donde se le dan unos exámenes a los estudiantes y se empieza a desarrollar ciertas características idiomáticas, ¿verdad? De lectura, orales, de interpretación auditiva, y de acuerdo al nivel en el que ellos se encuentren, ellos se van a ubicar para que el estudiante no se sienta rezagado y se vaya enseñando y acostumbrando al idioma, ¿no? y absorbiendo el idioma a su nivel y a su paso.
Joanna, thank you so much for being with us at Puerto Rican Voices.
Gracias a ti, Edwin, por darme la oportunidad de compartir todas las experiencias que hemos tenido aquí los puertorriqueños en el centro de la Florida y cómo estamos impactando aquí a toda la comunidad en general. Gracias. Hasta pronto.
Thanks to you and to our audience for spending your time with us. We will see you next time at Puerto Rican Voices.